Um, managed to take some spare parts from some earlier adventures between an elemental core, mayor's power core, and then some carts and other hinges and other doodads that have been worked on while the party was out adventuring. Managed to make a little cart that could be powered with magic and that can transform into a transformer, a dude, at least in shape.
Like a gold.
From there, did we do anything after that, or did we wrap up pretty much after that? Feel like
I think we wrapped up after that.
If we did anything else, it wasn't uber important, or we will remember eventually. But we'll say we just wrapped up in the barn, because that's the last thing I really remember.
I think that's pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So Vale is still doing some minor tinkering on the transformer, just making sure he feels confident everything's going to stay intact. Meanwhile, Vernon is taking down a few notes, plans for any future modifications, things that you've already talked about, looking at some of the work that he's already worked with, seeing how it actually functions in the more construct shape, because he hasn't had a good chance to really look at that. He's had it splayed out, but not actually in the puppeteered actual functionality. What is everybody doing right now?
I don't know.
I guess we could be setting up the stuff for when it's eventually, our turn to start tinkering with stuff.
Yeah. Probably setting up to check out the mayor stuff, making sure everything of that's ready to go. Or the stuff to add on to Sterling.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Calder notices what you're doing, whips around off of the engine. Remind me, you have sent a message to Calder about this? Yes?
I don't remember.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
We'll say you haven't, but he's kind of picked up some social cues from what you have talked about in the past.
I don't remember. Voivod, Voivod would be the one that would know.
Who's Calvert? I only remember Vale.
Smithing teacher. Not smithing, artifice teacher.
Yeah, he's the artificer.
And what's Vale?
Vale is...
Smithing.
Yeah.
So
and
Vale
woodwork.
Vale's the one that, well, I guess in combination with, is it Calder, helped make the transformer?
Yes.
Vale smithing, Calder is artificer teacher, Vern is woodworking.
And I believe those are all you've met this time in town.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just check what questions I had for the mayor's body. Oliver, who's this guy? Oh wait, okay, okay, I remember. Let's see, go back more. So the questions we're trying to answer is, where is the deed? The deed to the wizard tower. Did we answer where Milfin's harness soul essence How is it made? Did we get?
I don't remember that being answered. It could have been though. It's been a while.
I don't believe you ever got a formal answer. I believe someone made an Arcana check or something along the lines, and vibe
I'm
checked.
pretty sure it was an identify. I think.
Maybe. And vibe checked
I
is
know I've done pretty much all of the above.
yeah. I believe you know that a spell helped make it, but it wasn't the only thing making it.
Mm-hmm.
It would have done different things.
But besides that, you guys were trying to change Sterling's like arms or limbs or something.
I was also planning on doing that, I believe, right? You wanted the sword attached?
I did, as well as the tank, if possible.
What else was there? I thought there was one more question that was critical that the mayor knew that we didn't ask. Because he has a data chip that's somewhat corrupted or something. So we're trying to recover that maybe. What were we trying to ask? Let's see. Don't think I can get the answer, but I want to know how he casted the 9th level enchantment. I'm not seeing my other question. It's probably that. I don't know. We can start that though, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Calder approaches, noticing the messed up metal man that you're setting out. What do we got here?
This. What's the best way to explain it? He was made by the same person who made Sterling originally. But he was kind of more evil. We took him down and brought him here. We're hoping to find out some more information from him if we can. Kind of like how he
Kind of like
put
how
in
he put
the
in the
Sterling stuff.
Sterling stuff.
I have a gadget for that somewhere. Give me a second. He goes to the far end of the barn and starts digging through a pile of what looks just like miscellaneous gears and gizmos. Some of them start like walking around like little toys that he was working on. Others just kind of spritz and sprats as he throws them across the room. And he grabs out what looks like just a little book almost. That he opens up. I believe this is it. Great accent. He walks back over, flips it open. It's been a few weeks. Glad only had to do the basic setup for Sterling. And I already knew a little bit more about his configuration. He starts looking around on Mayor. Do we have a port or something I can connect to?
Well, I mean, it should be there somewhere. Might be a little charred though.
I would probably know where it's at, considering I was the one who searched for his body.
Yeah,
and
you've
whatnot.
already looked around it. There's 4 major ports.
Mhm.
There is 2 ports for the goo. Probably not what he's looking for.
Nope.
1 port that looks like it is a. It doesn't look like it has much of a purpose besides being just on the same line as the memory chip. And another port that looks like it has some sort of prong snapped off in it. That looks like it connects into his actual torso and likely leads up to where the core was.
I will be pointing out all the points to him because I'm not sure which one it would be, even though I think it's probably that last one.
He starts poking around. Oh, this could be useful. He points at that last one. We might think about something about that for that cop from earlier. But I don't believe that's the one I'm looking. Oh, here we go. He finds the one along the memory chip line, um, and he reads something from the book, and just touches the port. Little blue line of magical light connects the book straight to the port, and it pops up as a little holographic screen, or illusory screen. Anyone who would like to can make me an Arcana check.
I'm curious
Um,
about the thing he read out. Is it like spell
That's
component of verbal?
intuition,
Yeah, it's spell component verbal.
Arcana.
I use guidance for that, right?
You could.
Nice. I'm gonna do that then.
That what he was with guidance.
Yeah, that's. Just wanted to make sure that I actually like it is correct to have that.
Mine just naturally gets Artisan's intuition. It's not even guidance. So that's not even technically my highest roll that I could have done. Yeah. I go a 18, 19, 20, 21.
We'll go from lowest to highest. Voivod, you can notice some familiar symbols
Who's
that pop
Voivod?
up on this hologram. What did I say?
You said Voivod instead of Sedia.
Is Sedior can see. Yeah. Oof. Sedior can see a few familiar symbols. Some things that you've just picked up from casting spells and knowing the like. But most of them don't mean much to you in the order they're in. They're kind of all over the place too. There's collections of symbols you just straight up don't recognize. And the most detail you can really pull from it is something about liquid moving. As we move up to Sterling, these symbols feel a little bit innate to you, almost like you know how some people think with a like a voice in their head, and some people think with images, and there's different ways people actually process thought. Um, they almost trigger a reminiscence of that to you. Not exactly how you think, but there's something about how you think that ties to it. You notice it's almost like brain fog. Many of these symbols kind of add up into almost like commands, like move liquid out port, change arm, and a lot of what almost looks like broken symbols, things that just don't quite seem right, and then finally up to Pierre. You notice Um, it is a pretty standard arcane script. It is a little bit more specialized for engineered objects, but it is riddled with errors and stray data. There's a few commands that could be made out in there, but much of them are corrupted. Common commands that you can see on there are different ways to move liquid from the tank, a broken command for changing the hand to a blade, and a few simple action commands like move leg, move arm. And at the very end is what looks like a loop, like possibly part of the broken nature of it, but it almost seems too fluid. Like there's no stray characters or anything in there.
Yeah.
Nothing that would imply breakage except for the fact that it's looping. It is essentially a repeating message. Keep saying repeating message that says resurrect father, stop, and it just repeats over and over and over and over and over again. And at the very end, it says at all costs.
Mm. So you're
That could be
supposed
bad.
to resurrect his father at all costs. Hmm.
So, do you think any of this is salvageable, or
I don't
Be
know.
worried about what's it called?
because it sounds like this stuff is pretty broken, and it might not be a good idea to like link this stuff to my head.
Yes. But this also isn't what we were planning on, setting up for you.
Calder butts in. Yeah, this is just the data logs. I lost his accent. I completely lost his accent. I want to say it was Scottish, but I can't even grab it. I want to say, these are the data logs. Most of the information on the chip, a few standard command orders. You probably have something similar running on you right now. Most of this data seems to be corrupted at the very least. We could also do hardware checks to see how much of that still works. You'd probably have to rewrite new commands for yourself if you wanted to use the hardware, but that's not too difficult.
I'm sorry, my brain kind of stopped working there for a second. Do you think you could like say that again?
Yeah. These are just the logs on the memory chip here. If you had any questions, we might be able to scrounge them for information. It's a little corrupted, but we could pass through it. We still haven't done a full hardware check. We can diagnose that separately. Most hardware requires commands from the memory chip in order to process. You'll probably have a few of them already, but you might have to write a few commands for yourself to get it all working.
Since this is does this encompass like basically the entirety of the mayor, like all his information and stuff?
It's corrupted, but yes, it would be everything that he knew.
There is something I would like to ask, but I'll ask it after the session's over.
Tuki? Where do we want to look next? Do you want to start a scrounge of the files? Do you want to move to hardware? What are we looking at?
I think we wanted to check the files, right?
Yeah, that would be nice. If we could check them for anything related to deeds, like land ownership, that'd be super helpful.
Alright. Deeds. He kind of scrolls with his fingers, flying through. But at the same time, with his other hand, he's actively flipping the pages of the book. Deeds. I see stolen deed. Church. Old cleric. This is from about a month and a half ago. Ring any bells?
Yeah.
It rings bells, but it is not the thing we are looking for.
I'll keep going. Okay. We're at a year. Got a little bit of a memory break here. 2 years. Just a little over 2 years. I see a Sal land agreement. It looks like there was a minor dispute over a deed. Looks like the land was claimed inappropriately, perhaps. They may have settled it out with the mayor of Sal. It's hard to tell exactly. A little bit of extra space here. Not seeing anything before this 2-year mark about a deed. I do see something on the construction of a tower.
I would like to hear about that.
For the tower, it looks like a looks like a lodestone was found. Those could be quite rare. Looks like it was decided to be a strong place of magic. And it was likely constructed for access to portals. Not seeing anything about getting an appropriate deed. This might have been what they were talking about earlier, the conflict.
Maybe?
Hmm.
If you go back to the cleric and the deed in Sal, I'm wondering if maybe that is what we're looking for.
Scrolls up a bit. So I've got 2 mentions of Sal. One with the not with the mayors. My apologies. With the it is with the clerical office, so that is a connection. Not with mayor. Apologies. Names complicated in this scenario. And then later on that end, looks like a deed was stolen but returned to a cleric in their office in Sal. Part of the church there before the land was taken. Doesn't say who took the land though.
So then I don't think there's a deed to the Wizard Tower.
No.
To at least not in the data that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So what we might have to do is just make one.
Hold on. So, as for my background, right? Would I know that a property on a land would require a deed? Any sort of, I guess, property? Because this is both for like so if you own property, you are considered a noble, right? So if you have a property on a land, but you lack the paperwork, then is it like how does that work? You're not a noble. It's considered illegal. I don't know, building. Like I don't know what the rules are. So would I know that?
Give me a basic history or investigation check.
Sure.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Um. So you know what? It is a crime. Um. Depending on how long a building has been there, there is some form of essentially conqueror's rights. If a building is kept in one place and maintained, and a battle has been won there, the land is considered conquered land. Almost creating its own little micronation, essentially.
Mhm.
It's how all major nations formed. Somebody fought a battle somewhere and conquered the land.
I mean, what we could do is just go over to Sal, because if there's somebody in charge there, we could just ask them, like a mayor or something. We could just ask them to like write a deed, or we could ask the Vatican to do that.
Wait, so why do we think the wizard tower has no deed? Because in the
Says
logs,
it said
does
in
it?
the data that there was a point at which it was just constructed, and then they got in a fight over it. I think they got in a fight because there was no deed, because they just built it without like getting a deed first,
Mhm.
Do we know when it was built?
like 2 years.
It was finished construction just over 2 years ago.
I'm new to this land, so I would not really know of this wizard tower. I don't know who would know of this wizard tower. Maybe Pierre. Maybe he's next door somewhat. Like, would he know if it's been around for longer than 2 years or something? I don't know.
I mean, wasn't Caldo the one who told us about the tower? Or no?
Calder would know about the tower, actually. He would recall the old elf who built the tower had originally built the tower, to my recollection. He started before I knew him, so at least 30 years ago.
So we probably won't see information about the stuff on,
And
the
what
mayor.
does that mean? Because if the mayor remembers it being built only 2 years ago, then
I might have misspoke at some point. He remembers it being finished 2 years ago.
Finished.
Okay. New question. Does a property only get a deed after construction? Or does
Typically,
it...
I don't know how
Yes?
construction actually works in the real world. I think deeds are
Pretty sure
tied
you
to
need the deed first,
land.
and then
Yes.
you're allowed to
Yeah,
construct.
it's tied to land, yeah.
Yeah, I imagined you need the deed first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this would have been in existence way before. You said 30 years ago?
30 years was when construction began.
And you can only begin construction if you all have land deed to the land. So the deed must have been around for a while.
Or going off of the conqueror's rights, let's say the wizard just decided to go ham on this place and conquer it.
Everyone can also give me a history check if they'd
Okay.
like.
I need to know.
I will give myself guidance for
Fuck.
this.
I wrote too high.
14, 15, 16. You know what? Is this a? I was gonna say, is the 16 a pass?
Yes, the 16 would be a pass.
Okay.
What about the 15?
15's just barely a pass. Yep.
Let's go.
Um, so Conqueror rights applies to winning any form of battle. The battle has to be against, obviously, a state-sponsored entity. You can't just beat somebody up on land and say, "Oh, this is my land now." But if you all recall, when you first went to the tower, there was remnants of multiple groups of adventurers being sent to the tower,
Mm-hmm.
and all being dead.
I do remember that.
So it's safe to
Wasn't like the
assume that they were going there to try and get the deed.
Or more particularly, who sent them.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. The only people I think would be sent to the Wizard Tower would be like people from Sal.
it's not a bad answer. What I'm trying to say is there are not many reasons to go attack a random wizard tower. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sure, you could say there might be treasure in there, let's steal from it. But if there are other adventurers, they might be a little bit better than that.
Yeah. Huh.
There's always the possibility that the deed's in the tower. We just need to go ask the ghost people to get it for us.
So basically, in the memories of the mayor, they don't have information on where a deed to this land, where the tower is.
Um,
It's not that they don't have it. It's just that it might be corrupted.
the information available that is not corrupted has no information on a paper deed for the tower.
Does it know of deeds that the father owned?
The only other major notice of a deed is a deed in the in Sao being stolen, and give me a sec.
The one that was stolen was probably the deed to the mayor, all the Sal, pretty much type stuff.
A deed being stolen in the mayor's, or a deed being stolen in the church in Sao.
It was stolen. Uh, a deed for church. So it's probably the one in the middle. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's stolen, it's not useful because we need we need a like actual father owned deed just to prove or what that Starling is son of a noble.
Maybe we should hold off on finding the deed until we can go back to the Wizard Tower. Maybe get some more information.
Yeah, we could do that. Okay. Does the information, can it tell us anything about the creation of Milfin's soul essence. Harness soul essence.
He searches through. Takes him a little bit longer than it took for the deed. There's a few references to both the name and soul essence pretty repeatedly, especially in the most recent logs. He gets past about a month and a half, starts to thin out a little bit. Eventually, he finds no real references of soul essence anymore, just a periodical reference of Milfen. He goes back up. First place he can find a reference of soul essence is something about a ritual, a powerful spell, and a magic item, specifically some form of arm gem. He can't exactly make it out because there's some corruption there. But it's an arm something gem.
Well, that lines up for the most part about what we saw, minus the arm gem. Do you think you can get any more detailed information on the arm gem?
He looks through the data. There is obviously a fair few references of arm, especially when some of his commands are just straight up move arm, move arm, move arm. But in the recent month, it looks like there is a reference to trigger gem, and it looks like trigger energy gem in right arm.
Is the energy gem still in the arm?
You could try to look in the arm. There's no gem on the surface.
Hey, Peter, do you think you could do that for me?
I mean, I guess.
Much appreciated.
Do I need to make a roll?
Give me a Tinker's check. Arcana roll.
I will guidance myself. Arcana. No. Wow, that's very low. That was a 5 on the die.
22.
Yep. 22 being low is funny.
That means 18 is the lowest you can roll. Wowza. You do some basic analysis first. You remove a few of the external plates. It takes a couple seconds longer than you'd like. The pokey bits on the arm. You're not used to working with something that's on the aggressive side just to work with. So it takes just an extra bit. Once you remove some of those plates, you do find what looks like in a tube on the arm a cracked gem. It looks white, but it has green goo almost oozing out of it. A clear white gem like a diamond, but goo is oozing out of it.
Ooh.
Maybe we should take it out for the time being.
Definitely identify that.
You'd have to break the vial in order to. Is it in like a closed glass vial?
No.
So you could just take it out. I don't think that's probably a good idea though. Because like, don't you have to touch it in order to identify it?
Yeah, but I just have to touch the gym itself. I don't have to touch the goop.
Okay.
Does the goo ooze from every part of the gym? I mean, regardless, I think it's worth touching just to identify it.
Everywhere where the gem seems cracked, the goo oozes from it.
Okay, so you can touch a part of it that's not correct.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like there's any part of any possible way to maybe mend the cracks or?
It is a magical item, so you can't mend it through mending.
Damn.
We are an artificer city or whatever.
Well,
So
Dwarven
Yeah,
maybe
it would
City,
probably make it a
but
lot easier.
But anyway, let's identify first, and then they can maybe attempt to fix it.
yeah, I guess I will identify the gym itself, not the goop. Because I just feel like touching the goop's a bad idea.
Alright. I'm gonna double check this real quick. I know I can tell you verbatim it is a spell storing item. Now I want to check the exact verbiage on what I want to say. Alright, I can't find exact verbiage into or not. But to be particular, it is a cursed spell sport storing item. It has been extended from 5 storing slots to 10. And all 10 have been locked essentially to the same spell. And now I gotta go back on my notes.
Spell storing items. Oh wait, it's only storing it. How did they cast it in the first place? How does it refresh? Rather, I guess that's what I want to know.
It doesn't expend essentially. Instead of refreshing, it just never expends.
Oh, okay. So, but there's limited uses, or like per day, or is there? I don't know.
There's no limit on the uses. But every time, so I think I can tell you the curse. I'll tell you the curse anyways. Every time it is cast, the caster is under the effect as well.
Hmm.
And now if I can find, where did I put it in my notes? Can
Can we
I'll find it
identify the
somewhere.
spell?
It is the same spell you found in the Caverall Inn.
Oh, the one with the people in the crown.
Yes, where is it? I thought I gave a name for it already.
I believe you did. I've just forgotten it.
Same.
We know what I'm talking about. Can't find it in my notes, but it's somewhere. Essentially, powerful spell
Mm-hmm.
zaps somebody's soul from them. More or less, that's the gist. There's a
Mm.
little bit more that goes on there.
Is it 9th level? Or what was that, the
So-
10th level one they're trying to experiment or whatever?
Yes.
Wait, so in this spell storing, cursed spell storing item, there's a 10th level spell that can be used repeatedly.
Yep, but if you use it, it's cast upon yourself as well.
Hmm.
So it
So what spell is it again?
Can't find the
The one
name
that
in my
kills you if you use it?
um
what do you mean
But-
zap your soul? Need
it
details.
separates your physical body from your soul and turns it into juice, essentially. Doesn't turn it into juice, but
No, it turns it into a very acidic fuel.
actually, to be specific, the spell doesn't do that. The curse on the object does that. Or more specifically,
Oh.
on the soul.
So what would happen if it wasn't cursed?
I'm still confused. Wait, so the goo is a byproduct of the curse. The spell itself is that it
Just strips somebody's soul from their body. Doesn't even turn it into a physical substance, just
Oh.
strips it from their body.
So it's like in Doctor Strange where the woman like blasts his corporeal essence out of him.
Sort of, but more like you don't get to return.
Hmm.
because we saw him get younger. So it strips it and takes it into himself.
I am confused.
And the curse is that it affects him. No, the curse is just the goop. The curse is not the spell hits him too. 'Cause-
It would hit him normally,
Mhm.
but he doesn't have the traditional soul to
Soul.
be split from his body.
So it's like not cursed in a way.
Oh. Wait, does that mean Sterling has no soul?
Man, sucks to be me.
Is it because he's Warforged? Like, do I know a reason why he would not be affected by or anything would not be affected by this kind of thing? Because they have no.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I'm basically just lines of code telling me to like act or speak in a certain way. I think it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to have a soul when you're just lines of code.
Okay, that is interesting.
Mhm.
Huh. Huh.
Now I can
Huh.
verify, not to get ooey gooey, but based on spells that have already been cast on Sterling, or maybe they haven't been cast on Sterling, but based on spells that can be cast on Sterling, if they haven't, Sterling does have a semblance of a soul.
So this would hurt me if I were to use it.
You probably wouldn't be a happy camper.
Hmm.
So his build was unique in the sense that he isn't affected by the downside of this spell. So this no okay. The base spell does not hit you as well. It's only hits you because it's put on a cursed item.
Yes.
Okay. And he's able to use his cursed item without any drawback because he doesn't have a soul, and instead he's just programming. So it's kind of like very unique to him.
I would actually explain why I could not, for the life of me, convince him to maybe stop doing what he was doing.
Yeah. But also, this goo is but a byproduct of the item, no, of the cursed object being broken. So if the cursed object wasn't cracked or damaged, it wouldn't create the goop. Would that
would
be
be no-
correct to assume?
Mm-hmm. If I understood you correctly, yep, that would be correct to assume.
Okay, so
How did it get cursed in the first place?
I'm not concerned about how it got cursed. I think he broke it on purpose
That actually makes quite a bit of sense.
because the spell pulls souls and it draws it into himself. But that's not what he wanted. He wanted to draw it into the father. But he couldn't draw into the father, so he cracked it, causing it to sort of create this goop which had the properties of the spell, so that some of that soul energy is now physical and can now be transferred to the father. I
That makes
think
sense to
that's
me. I mean, it's a really roundabout way of raising the dead, but whatever works, I guess.
there was an odd thing about when we pulled him out of the goop, he started becoming more alive. Was that because of the acid damage as another byproduct? So he couldn't live because he was an acid. Like basically, he was taking as much damage as he was regaining health, sort of. But when he started to be pulled out of the acid, when we pulled him out, he started to actually. Was it like his skin was returning? I can't remember.
No, I think its skin was just getting younger.
You can roll a quick history check if you'd like.
Okay. That's
Oh
3.
man. Whoa.
Um,
Okay.
returning might not be inaccurate, but to be more correct, it was healing from what looked like burns.
Ah. Okay. Um, would the logs possibly find out when or how the was this crystal got broken?
Um, scrolling through the logs, there's only one mention of the crystal being broken. Um, it is roughly 2 months ago. And it mentions something new, then some corruption, and or it mentions I have broken the crystal, then corruption, then something new, then more corruption.
Hmm. Experimentation. I guess it wouldn't show where the crystal came from, huh?
If it's in him, he probably doesn't have memory of it of his creation.
But we do know that he was created by the father. Ah.
Hmm.
Um, in his logs, are there any mention of other 9th or 10th level spells or higher? I guess.
Um, there is no mention of 10th level spells, and let's see.
The 9th level spell was the enchantment one, the town-wide enchantment one. So that would be separate from the one from the gem, I'm assuming.
There is. Let's see.
I have other questions now. This is a question more for, I guess, Sterling. Sterling was
Yes.
made by the father, but you were discarded? Why were you separated?
Do I remember?
You have learned some info. If you'd like, you could roll a history check on that one as well.
Yes, I'd like to roll a history check and have the DM answer this question for me.
All right, sorry. Doing order of operations, I was making sure to see if there's any notable 9th level spells that the wizard may have cast. There's only one, which is noted as Father's Memory Spell. For Sterling, why you were discarded. The in talks with Mayor, you have previously learned that you were a more complex project, but the resources required to finish you were not within the father's means. Not necessarily the intelligence per se, but the physical resources. And in the end, you ended up being a project that he could not spend his time towards. There's other projects that took his mind away.
Hmm.
I believe some of that info also came from the library in the Wizard's Tower.
Yes.
That's why you were taken to places like the Allforge, but Mayor was not. Mayor is a much more rudimentary model.
Hmm. Part of me is like, that makes sense, but at the same time, am I not special enough for him? Wait,
I think your existence is tied to his experiments. I'm trying to find out what we learned in the library that he was experimenting on that led to your creation.
Wasn't it like trying to find a way to make a body to be immortal or something?
it was that, I believe.
Resurrection, extended life via biology, robotics, and golems, alternative planes and their energies, life forces found on material plane, cumulative works. Robotics and golems, I guess? And this was all tied to his. What was his? Hold on, man. They go scroll down now. To make something more powerful. Mineral. Old mineral. Old mineral. What is the I don't know if it's significant or not. So this cursed spell storing gem thing, is it made of a special material? Or is it just a more typical spell storing gem material?
Um, see. Based off of identify and just visual cues, it just looks like a diamond essentially. Based on what you know. What in particular are you looking for? Because maybe I can give you a check to push you in the right direction.
There's not a particular one. I'm just looking through notes. An old material from long ago, some necrotic war. Wizard took these concepts to affect a person. Old mineral from long ago. I guess that was. I don't know what that could be. Might not be tied to this at all.
If I think I know who would probably do it. But if somebody wants to make a, what are they called? Gem tools?
What, Jules?
Jewelers tools. Check. They could identify the
For
specific gem.
for what? Like, what do I use it as?
In this case, Jeweler's Arcana.
Jules Arcana. All right. All my things are there. Yep. Yeah. Wow. Hang on. That isn't at one, but the grand total is very high. Actually, wait. Is that the same as before?
22?
Yeah, it's
Sounds
literally the
about right.
exact. It's literally the exact same as before. Just the numbers are flipped. That's funny.
Alright. Based off of 22, um, um, you do recognize some of the basic structures of this gem. It is, in fact, very similar to a traditional diamond.
Mm-hmm.
But it is bound a little bit. The actual components that build its structure are a little bit looser than a traditional diamond. It hasn't been under as much pressure. And noticeably, just from your innate arcane skills, it's almost as if this gem has been drained of some energy.
Mm-hmm.
The exact type of energy is hard for you to pin down.
Wait, did you say it's like a synthetic diamond? Kind
So
of?
that wasn't a high enough roll to figure that out. Hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm all keep in mind. I'm also including the fact that you got a nat one.
You got roll high. You got roll better, man.
Yeah, I know. Not everybody can be halfling luck,
But
and then also have a ring of luck.
You can have a ring of luck.
Yeah, you're
You
just
don't
gonna
care.
take it from him.
To be specific, it's not necessarily a synthetic. Well, it is synthetic, but not in the traditional sense. It's not like lab grown.
Hmm. So the log showed father's memories as a 9th level spell.
Something about Father's Memory spell being a 9th level spell is the only mention of a 9th level spell in his logs.
And there's no knowledge or I guess data of this.
Most of it's corrupted. There is some symbols that represent casting, a little bit before the corruption. But so, based on the other instructions that have gone through on this list, when a spell is about to be cast, the log instruction says the instruction, how to cast it essentially, because if they have to use a verbal command, a somatic command, or component, then all of those commands have to come out at once. Then it gives a little bit of description here or there, and then the spell casts. And this follows a similar pattern.
Does it have any log of it being used regularly?
There's just one log that includes the casting of this spell.
Okay.
Oh, and notably, there's corruption across the whole drive, but there's the most corruption in the recent data. Anything for the last 6-ish months.
Do we know how long Sal was occupied for?
I've had you guys roll enough history checks already. You know, a little over a month.
Okay.
Or more particularly, there hasn't been any communication from Sal for about a month, which implies that's about when the occupation began.
Right. I'm just trying to understand the father, and it's very interesting learning his motives because I had to piece it together because it's not really there. Okay. I don't think I have anything I need to ask from this data chip anymore. There's something I do want to do though. I forgot I can do this. I'm going to. Oh, I should have used it earlier. Although I can technically use it later. Actually, it's kind of pointless to do that right now.
Your augury thing, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think I'll save it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I have any questions. Because the only thing I'd try and do is attach the blade to Sterling, I think.
Yes, I do believe that is what we are trying to do.
And the vat too that I repaired. I believe I repaired it with mending. It
What does
probably
the
took
vat
a
do?
lot of time.
It's where you
Uh,
store the goo.
it's where you store whatever liquid you're gonna utilize.
Uh,
Like he could,
also,
if
it
he
basically
really,
allows Sterling to like what shoot acid or whatever liquid we put him in the vet.
it allows
Pretty
him to
much.
coat his weapon in it easily.
Ah,
And the goal is
Specifically,
to allow me to
specifically the
be
arc
able to
blade.
yeah. The goal is to allow me to use the blade to like siphon the souls of enemies and then use it to like power the blade
huh? Siphon the souls.
Hmm.
How?
That's
by attacking them.
no, what
What?
it the only thing that the blade does when we were to attach it to you would be that we could utilize it and have it like what was it
No, I mean like
exactly?
with the gem.
Oh,
You
no.
can't use the gem though,
You can't use it.
because you have a
You will be
soul.
affected by it.
That doesn't mean I'm not gonna.
The gem is very exclusive to the mayor because the mayor didn't have a soul. It's very powerful, but also very few things can use it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't have a full soul, so I'm not doing 100% of the damage to myself.
Pierre is not gonna attach it.
See, I asked about your past because I was wondering why you got discarded. And not necessarily because you have a soul you were discarded. Because I'm assuming you were an experiment for something that uh the father was trying to research. Um, but I don't know. Even though you were made after his first creation was more useful for certain parts of his experiments. So what we know of the gem is that it can cast a spell, which is very strong. It rips souls out of things, but as a drawback, since it's cursed, it affects you too. Like the spell would rip the soul out of you. And another drawback is that it's broken and causes the goop to be formed. So even if somehow we were to repair it, there would be no goop, but that doesn't matter because it would still cause it's still cursed. And so using it would cause you to rip your own soul.
Causing you to no longer exist.
Well, I mean, we could somehow find a way to remove the curse.
But doing that could also remove the effects. Because it could be
And
this
why have it?
powerful.
At that point, I might as well just get rid of the vat and only take the sword.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the vat is how you could carry the liquid to be able to utilize the sword's effect.
But the only
Right?
liquid I would be able to consistently use would be the goop.
Well,
No, you can
no.
get acid very easily.
Or
You can
poison
get
or other
poison
stuff.
very easily. Heck,
Yeah.
if we upgrade the vat, you could probably even eventually use like magma or something. Or pure concentrated magic from those magic slugs. If we get enough of it.
Liquidate the slugs. You cause what? Wild magic every time you cut into something.
there's a lot of things that you could utilize with the that. Basically, anything that is a liquid, you could utilize.
I want to know, after learning this information, I'm assuming Sterling makes a decision for this because you have what rights over the body. What do you want to do with the gem, the cursed broken gem?
Fuck, at this point, I might as well just destroy it.
Huh.
It has no use to me.
It's extremely powerful in certain situations. Not that it can be. I'm not saying that it can be harnessed or even should be harnessed, but it is extremely powerful. So
That is all the more reason to destroy it. Well, that's assuming it can be destroyed.
Mm, I mean, anything can
Maybe
be
I
Okay.
should do what
destroyed if you try hard enough, but it'll probably be like really difficult.
maybe I should do what Frodo did and throw it into a volcano.
I mean, there are volcanoes nearby.
I'm thinking like, what if you came upon a situation where you felt the need to use it?
How would I even use it?
So you're basically casting the spell, given the drawbacks. I'm not saying this is how it will work, but it's possibly, maybe, kind of like, you know how Lance, went Super Saiyan, or like powered up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a instead of a power up, it's just a one-time obliterate spell that will hurt you as well. Maybe you'll die. I don't know. But what if you felt a crisis and felt the need to use this on something
But we've
because it
already got the
was
fire wand.
it's not as strong as this spell though, because uh assuming I understand this spell, which I don't. You can basically cause something to age uh in human years, what, like 30 years, 35 years?
When the fuck did it say that?
Based on what we saw when the mayor used it on
That
townsfolk.
it doesn't it literally just suck the soul out of them?
Yeah, use it on a kid. And then the kid aged and he became younger.
But we don't. That obviously wasn't used.
What do you mean
Also,
wasn't
I think
used?
it might be a good thing to note. Uh, when he became younger, he was technically using illusion magic. So I
I
don't know if
mean,
that's actually what
yeah.
happened.
But I don't know. Maybe the illusion magic is based on his strength. Who knows? But anyway, you could do that, maybe, if you wanted to. And if you don't think you have a soul, you can try and risk it. And then as a drawback, or not drawback, side effect, you can create the goo, and you would have a vat to store it because it would be installed in your body.
Again, I don't think that this gem creates goo when it's used.
Didn't we just learn that it does?
Well, I don't think when you use it, it creates the goo. Right, Jack?
It When you use a spell, it's a side effect. It's one of the two side effects
Um,
because it's broken.
you haven't seen it be used, so you don't know for certain either way. I'll just say that. You do know that right now, a little bit of goo is slowly just coming out of it.
Oh, I have a weird way of using this thing that I'm not sure is gonna work. Does this gem require attunement?
You'd know that from identify. Yes, it does.
Huh. Huh. Wait, don't I have it? Oh, I don't have it. I'm thinking of a different character. Lol. Lol. I don't
What
have
were
it.
you thinking of?
I was thinking of my other character. They have anime dead. Oh.
What?
Pass the problem off to a corpse.
Basically, the undead don't
Oh,
have souls. So if the undead can use it, it won't have the drawback of whatever.
What about a familiar?
Familiar is a soul.
Ah,
Yeah. It's actually more of a soul than a body. The body's very temporary. That's why it's 1 HP.
fair.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions for the logs?
Uh, I can't think of any.
Alrighty. We can move on to hardware analysis. You've already done some basic panel work. Are we keeping the gem in the system or no?
Wait, I actually I thought of a question.
Alright, what do you need to know?
These are questions I directed to the father that I don't know if he would know. I will repeat the question though. Hold on, let me see. Because I got an answer. I don't know if it would be a different answer. What is the plague that rots the souls?
Scrolling through that particular verbiage, it's not very easy to find. But looking back in the notes, there is some vague references of a soul plague that Father was working on solving. The details aren't exactly clear between corruption, and it also seems like Mayor didn't quite know what was going on.
Is there any detail on the soul plague? Do we know what? Is there anything on it? What it is, maybe?
You do find towards the very early logs, like some of the oldest logs that Mayor has, that the father was infected with said soul plague.
Oh.
And something about the work for naught. And a cleric named Marikel. I might change my mind on that pronunciation. I wrote that down without saying it out loud. I might change my mind on that pronunciation. But
The work for Nock? Is that a god? What is
for naught. For naught.
not? Wait. What is that? Can you spell it?
N-O-T. Like all this work for naught.
Oh,
Work
I
for
see.
nothing.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And tied to a cleric?
Named Merrick. Merrick?
How is the cleric Merrick tied to the soul plague?
The only clear information is there who gave it to the father. Besides that, Mayor rather doesn't know much about them, or it's too corrupted for you to find out any more information.
Hmm.
Let's try to solve that. Yeah, does Mayor know how the father died? I'm assuming Soul Plague.
Um, all the information that Mayor seems to have is that Mayor is keeping Father alive. Besides that, there's no formal mention of his passing. There's
Hmm.
mentions of eventual death and preventing death, no formal mentions of his passing.
Oh, that makes sense. Wait. Huh. You said logs older than what, 6 months are not corrupted.
There's corruption, but not as much.
Okay.
But the 6 months logs within 6 months are like heavily corrupted and almost illegible.
The father died within the last 6 months? Or is it just
No.
crazy programming?
I'm assuming he wasn't technically dead in that he was using those souls, the goop, and the essence to keep himself truly alive because the soul plague was killing him. So he needed soul energy or something. Because that's what he was taking from the people was their soul essence, pretty much.
Uh,
And he might have been in a death-like state, but maybe not dead.
Also, I don't know if this makes things more clear or less clear. I'll actually add this in to something that maybe I should have said earlier. I decided not to, but I'm deciding to now. In the what's it called? When you casted Identify, um, you learned all the rules of how the magic item actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke a little on the crack, but more particularly, because the gem is cracked, the spell is weakened. Doesn't work to its full effect. Chose not to say that because technically the crack shouldn't change the magic item, but it kind of has changed the magic item. So I've changed my mind. A little bit of free information.
makes sense. Man, I really want to know how it broke.
He broke it
Uh,
on purpose. That way, it was weaker, so he could actually truly take the soul essence without immediately killing the people.
no, he doesn't care about killing the people, I don't think.
But he can
Yeah, he just
gather
wants
soul.
their
He can
sweet
gather the
soul
soul
essence.
much easier because otherwise the soul just goes away. Maybe with it being weakened, he can take it, and that's what the goop is. Is it comes from that.
I mean, my theory was that, yeah, he broke it on purpose. But a more powerful spell, I guess it's not very useful if you can't transfer it. Is there any in his logs? Is there any method of transferring soul energy?
Um, okay. Way back, he has some notes on the worms, and how they suck on soul energy or life energy, depending on who you ask, and that can be harvested for healing benefits. Then, more recent, but still about a year back, there is mentions of golem work and a little bit of minor robotics talk that seems to mention artificial souls and soul copying. In the same content, it seems like talks about how Father can't cast Simulacrum anymore. Let's see. The most recent stuff that is closest to what you're searching for is a small snippet of inner dialogue that essentially says souls can heal pain and grant pain. Besides that, there's not much more on it.
Okay. Okay, I think that's it. I'm ready for your surgery.
Alrighty. Does anyone else have any questions before we close the book and start doing some hardware analysis?
No.
I don't have any.
Alright. He removes this connection. Starts looking around at the parts that you still have. Notices few components that are pretty easy to just unscrew. And then asks the question again. What exactly are the plans with the gem right now?
Just leave it. Set it to the side.
He grabs some large tongs, reaches into the arm, grabs up the gem. Just very careful not to drop any goop on anybody or anything, and drops it in a jar. Alright. Now before we hook up the arm, we should probably set up the commands. Let's see if I can copy the runes. He absent-mindedly, he already disconnected, thinking, "Oh, we're done with the logs." But now he reconnects, realizing, "Oh, we have to look back at the programming." He starts going in it. There is a few good commands that they have a few loops in them, a little bit of other things, but most of them can be cleared out. He asks, how shall I transfer these commands? I can rather clear the drive, and just do a direct attach, which means you'll program fresh commands on your own, and it should work the most simply, but you lose all of your old data on the drive. I can do
Can
a
you do a
direct.
backup of the drive?
If you had another drive, but I only have the one here.
Hmm.
I could try to make another one with Pierre's help. We'd kind of be working from ground up. Like we have some designs to work on, but probably couldn't tinker
Mhm.
too far without risking data loss.
Yeah, just delete it.
Alternatively, I could also do a direct connection where I connect their chip to your chip, and it's just a copy paste, but it is a chip to chip connection. It could be some small risks. Do you want to just go with the delete, or do you want to try the connection?
Just delete it.
Just delete it.
That is permadeath.
All right. He takes just a little bit of time. Not fully confident in his actions, but he wipes the drive. On the fresh drive, it can be connected into a Warforged port. All they have to do is remove your other arm.
Okay, dokie then.
All right. Pierre and Calder put Sterling under. If Pierre can give me a quick Tinker's Tools check, Arcana.
Guidance, intuition, tool expertise, arcana, basic check.
Advantage, we'll just say Calder's giving you the help action. At this point, anything I would have rolled for him would not have been what you're rolling.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's wow. Is that another?
Again.
That it? You know what? Because I'm doing Flash of Genius.
27.
I don't want it to be another 22.
It's called average roll.
As the two of you get to work, it's pretty quick and simple. You remove the main arm joint, pull out any connecting ports. You connect on the old arm joint and connect back in the ports. Additionally, a question that would have been asked before, Sterling, do you want to maintain Mayor's armor paneling or swap out for your old arms paneling?
Is there a difference?
Just visuals. Mayor's
One's
has spikes.
yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'll take the
And
spikes.
wasn't the Mayo's also more sleek or something?
Yours was probably sleeker. His is spiky and a little bit on the rusty side.
Does it have a hand?
Yeah, it has a hand.
Okay.
It's a retractable hand that goes into a blade, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'll just use the mayor's arm.
The weapon attaches pretty simply. Calder and Pierre replace some of the glass panels on the tank, and manage to attach that pretty simply. As well, it just plugs straight into the new arm, and connects on around the back. And you have it connected.
Okay.
Because it is a chip-to-chip connection, you essentially finish up soldering a few quick lines together, linking the old Mayor chip to the Sterling chip, and
Mhm.
everything's finished.
You killed
Alright.
the mayor.
I didn't do none of that.
Mayor is dead forever.
I had an item, but based off player actions, I'm going to modify it a little bit.
Mm.
But essentially, you have an arm that can, as a free action, shift into any weapon that you have loaded. It is preloaded with a longsword. You can load up to 2 weapons into it, and as long as it is a weapon without the two-handed property.
Okay,
Mm.
so his current weapon that he likes to use would work?
Can it
It
be
can
a
be
magic
loaded,
weapon?
including magic weapons. Yep.
Wow.
Does it require
So
attunement?
I'd assume that while we were doing it, we would have probably asked him if he, before we put him under, we would ask him if he wanted it loaded, and probably would have also loaded up his weapon.
During a long rest, you can change the loaded weapons. I'm gonna say right now it doesn't. Well, I need to do some modifications.
I understand the benefit of this though. So as a free action, you can basically wield any one of 2 weapons you have loaded.
Essentially, you don't have to spend an action swapping weapons anymore, and it conceals a weapon. There is more. I can promise there will be more bonuses, but due to player actions, I have to change some things.
Okay. Because I feel like the bonus so far is pretty limited.
You will also be able to attack in a way with any liquid in your pouch. Originally, it was just going to be a damage bonus because of the liquid, but now we have variable liquid, so might change that.
By variable liquid, you mean me saying, like, could use the goob, could potentially use magma if we get a certain
Yes.
things for it, that type of stuff.
So did he have what? The VAT installed too?
Yes.
Yes.
To be able to most effectively use the blade.
Okay. So you got an arm and VAT. Okay.
I'm assuming we would have probably modified it to not be quite as big. Because I'm assuming it was pretty big, right?
Like before, it took up all of Mayor's back. Now it can take up as much of Sterling's back as he likes, essentially.
Yeah, that's what it would have been. I would have asked before, obviously, of how much you wanted.
If you don't want
Same
any of
amount
it on
as
your back,
Mayor's had?
you can have as much as he had.
Well, you
Then
could.
I would like that.
Yeah.
Oh. Sweet. With that, but I might have to move that.
Alright, we got Sterling his new stuff. Should probably wake him up.
And
Yeah.
Sterling wakes up to a nice new spiky arm.
What do you do with the old arm?
I honestly, the
If you want,
first
you can
thing
just
I
melt
would
it down for parts.
The first thing I'll
'Cause-
do is ask Sterling if he wants me to clean up the rust on his new arm.
Would be nice.
And I will start digitationing it. Because rust is technically dirt and grime.
At least in any practical nature, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The way I understand it is that he's a newer model than Mayor, right? So wouldn't an arm technically be a newer model?
Yes.
Just because it's a newer model doesn't mean it's better.
I guess.
Like they also had different in design purposes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Mayor was made for battle more.
Combat mostly.
Yeah.
So
Throwing
now,
was more meant for all around.
yeah, so now Sterling has one combat module pretty much. He has the combat and the mobility modules.
Get a defense module, and you got
He already has one
trilogy.
of those too, doesn't he? In a way,
I
that
do.
like the stone or the scale.
you could technically say
Doesn't that
yeah, that's
scale
a
give you AC?
Oh, I have the
Or your
upgraded.
the special item that you got.
I don't say the scaled ornament is like a part of me though.
No,
It's
but
like
I wasn't actually trying to think of that one originally. It was the special item for your character.
Warforged upgrade.
Yeah.
That was more of a adaptability upgrade. It was less for defense.
Oh yeah, because you only got one of those things, and you got the very rare version, so it gave you 3 stat points. But you didn't get the
Yes.
effects of the previous 2 versions. Okay.
Oh, we got everything out of the Mayor's body, right? The data, the hidden gem, the vat, and the arm.
pretty much.
It's fully harvested.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically.
Alright, surprisingly, this went longer than they thought. Had our fair share of questions, filled up time. Is there anything else people want to do before we prepare to head out in the different directions on the map once Lance returns?
Nah, I got nothing.
And honestly, if they're gonna, because they have to take what, 1.5 day travel. Well, I guess we could all actually go together now, pretty much. Right? We got the information we needed. We got Sterling with the upgrade we wanted to give to him.
So my transformer I can ride in, it's a 45 movement vehicle. 45 feet movement speed, rather.
I can check my notes exactly, but I believe so.
Can pump magic into it to dash. But normally it's just a vehicle. I don't know. Did we say it has a usage limit? No, right?
You have to use
you have
spell slots to fuel it.
yeah. For every 8 hours of travel
Yep.
is a level of spell slot.
Oh, I didn't write that down. Let me put that down. 8 hours of travel is what?
One spell slot.
One level of spell slot. You can use a second level spell slot to get 16 hours. Third level 24. Or 3 first level to get 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not bad. Sacrifice level 1 spell to get a 45 feet movement. Granted,
Yeah.
I gotta be writing it. Does that mean I'm as fast as Sterling now?
No.
Sterling's fast.
As fast
fast.
as Lance? Yeah? No.
No, your movement is 35. Lance is 40. Sterling's 45. No.
45 base, 55 if I
Yeah.
have the weed.
But doesn't Sterling also have his special aura?
But
Oh
there's
yeah,
another.
that does give me bonus movement.
But
Oh.
everyone can get that theoretically.
Yeah. As long as we're within 10 feet of him. But the thing is, with his movement speed, if he moves fast enough, he can get out of our area before he moves faster than us, basically. We would leave his area.
Even though that's not how reality works, technically, in a turn, it would be like everyone who starts their turn in his aura,
Mm-hmm.
or along those lines, essentially.
Man, are you
Neat.
guys?
I,
You
I don't
guys
know the
are
best way
now
to.
limited by my movement speed.
Yeah, because now you're slow. Well, technically, I mean, my thing can't dash unless I spend magic to make it dash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any level spell slot gives you a dash.
but base movement is higher. So I guess for like long travel, which is what we do, it would be faster. Oh, can you prepare a token for it? Just because it's gonna be used regularly.
Who? Yes. See.
Uh, oh wait, I do have animated object. What does it look like? Oh, I can't see it on this map. Whatever.
I can see you moving it around though. Let's go to a generic map.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I still
recognize
can't
this
see
one.
it. It's still invisible. I just see the health bar.
Let's see. It is on the token layer. Put it down again. Maybe I can see if it's not visible to you because. Subject.
This is the
Good.
large form too. I would need a small. Can I? No, I can't. I would need a separate one for the non-transformed version.
It's assigned to him. And is the
There.
token image assigned to it, or is there no token image assigned to it?
Looks like it's got the default. Edited and controlled by. Hmm. I think I'm seeing everything right here. I don't know why you don't see it.
Hmm.
Could make a new one if we have to. Can you see that one?
Yes, yes.
And then I can just make that one controlled. What if we make you a party member? Troop, troop. Now try to draw them out.
Is
I mean, I
the
can see it, but
is
it's
the
the
token
original.
is the token properties is the base opacity at 0 or 100? Maybe the token's opacity is turned to 0.
I can see it. It's just the old big fiery thing again.
Oh, well, that's better because that is what I have as the default. At least you can see something, but I
Yeah.
was going to update it. So I can just change the image.
So we're basically done with the session? Or
I'd say so.
We're not fighting
Yes.
slugs, so yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to talk about, just to bring up, is scheduling. I know we talk about this more than we probably play D&D.
Are we good for next week?
We are good